Hello children, how wonderful we're getting such a following in this reading group. I am so excited because I started out with 2 of my little grandniece, and then I started out with an extra person, and now I've got 4 more, and it's really growing. Anyway, the story we want to get on to today is Mr. Meddle and the Kangaroo. Okay, now where do kangaroos come from? Do you know? Does anyone know? That's right, Australia. And where do I live? I live in New Zealand, which is just a little bit further down from Australia. So I'm in a little country that's got 2 islands, and it's called New Zealand. Okay, now this particular story is about Mr. Meddle and the kangaroo. So I am wondering, before we start reading, if it's anything to do with Australia. So we'll find out shortly, won't we? Alright? Okay, now once upon a time there was a travelling circus that passed near to the town where Mr. Meddle lived. Mr. Meddle didn't know anything about it because the circus didn't stop. But as it went by the town, the performing kangaroo escaped from its cage. Nobody saw it go. It found that its door hadn't been locked, so it just pushed it open and went out. Now it hopped right over the nearby hedge with one bound and then jumped in glee over 3 fields and a stream. Now Mr. Meddle was just out for his morning walk, and he was trying to make up a poem that went like this. The wind was soft and warm. The sky was very blue. The birds were singing sweet. Mr. Meddle got as far as those 3 lines, and there he got stuck. He just simply could not think of a 4th line. He began again. The wind was soft and warm. The sky was very blue. The birds were singing sweet. Is that a kangaroo? Now Mr. Meddle didn't mean the last line to rhyme like that, and it really sounded very funny. But he didn't think about its being funny. All he thought about was the very peculiar sight in front of him. Jumping down the field path was a large kangaroo. Mr. Meddle was not used to meeting kangaroos in the fields. He stood still and he stared at it. Now I must think about this, said Mr. Meddle. Kangaroos don't live in this country, therefore that can't be a kangaroo. On the other hand, it's not a rabbit or a hedgehog, and it does really look extremely like a kangaroo. The kangaroo bounded nearer. It jumped right over a hedge and back again. Meddle began to feel a little scared. He didn't know how to treat kangaroos. Did you pat them like a dog, or stroke them like a cat, or prod them like a pig? Now I'm going to show you this story, this little picture. There you go, there's Mr. Meddle. Can you see his big ears? And there's the kangaroo. Isn't that amazing? And he lives in a country like England, and they don't have kangaroos over there. But he didn't know that this one had escaped from the circus, did he? Okay. Now I really must think about this, said Meddle firmly. That is a kangaroo, but it can't be a real one, so I must be dreaming. Of course, that's what it is. I'm asleep and I'm dreaming. It's only a dream kangaroo. Well, I'm not frightened of a dream kangaroo, not a bit. I've only got to wake up and it'll be gone. The kangaroo bounded almost on top of Meddle and stared at him in rather a fierce manner. Meddle stared back. Stare all you like, he said to the kangaroo, but let me tell you this, you're not real, not a bit real, you're only my dream, my dream. The kangaroo put its face near to Meddle's and made a horrid sort of noise. Meddle jumped back a little. If you do that sort of thing to me, I'll wake up and then you'll be gone like a puff of smoke, he said. You want to be gone? Now just be careful, please. I don't like you very much, and I may wake up with a jump. Then you'll be gone forever. Grrr, said the kangaroo, and put up its fists as if it were going to fight Meddle. It was a very clever kangaroo and could box with its fists just like a man. It often boxed with its keeper, and it really thought that Meddle would enjoy boxing too. Excuse me. But Meddle didn't like boxing at all. He stepped back a bit farther. The kangaroo followed. "Will you keep away from me?" roared Meddle, getting angry. "You are a most annoying dream. Look, I'll slap you if you keep following me. Now I'm going to turn my back on you and walk away. Maybe when I turn round you'll have changed into a pig or a cat or something, like things always do in dreams. So just look out." Meddle turned his back and walked away, hoping and hoping that the kangaroo would turn into a harmless mouse. But no sooner had he walked 2 steps than he felt a tremendous punch on his right shoulder. And here's a picture of the kangaroo punching Mr. Meddle. That was a little bit mean of him, don't you think? When he thinks that that kangaroo is a dream. Anyway, Mr. Meddle nearly fell over. He turned around in a rage, and the kangaroo was dancing about all around him, aiming at him with his fists, enjoying itself very much. Meddle shouted at it. "What do you want to punch me like that for? You might have woken me up. You know I'm asleep and dreaming, don't you? I wish I could wake up. You're a very horrid dream." The kangaroo gave him another punch, right in his middle this time. Meddle bent over with a groan. "Oh, you horrid creature! You don't know how to play fair even. Take that and that!" Meddle hit out at the kangaroo, who was simply delighted. He gave Meddle such a punch that the poor man went right through the hedge and out at the other side. 2 men were coming over the field there, and they stared in great surprise at Meddle flying through the hedge. "Do you usually come through hedges like that?" asked one of the men at last. "Of course not," said Meddle. "I'm having a very nasty dream, that's all. I can't imagine why you've come into my dream too. Really, I do wish I could wake up. I've already dreamt a kangaroo and he keeps punching me." "Dreamt the kangaroo?" cried one of the men. "Why, we are looking for a kangaroo. Where is he?" "Oh, for goodness sakes, don't call him," said Meddle. "He's gone out of my dream for a moment and I really don't want him back." "You must be mad," said one of the men. "You're not dreaming, you're wide awake. Now look here, I met a kangaroo just now, and I should never do that if I was awake," said Meddle. "I tell you I'm dreaming. Pinch me, please. You can't feel pinches in dreams. Pinch me hard. I shan't feel it, and then you'll know I'm in a dream." The men pinched Meddle as hard as they could. Oh, he gave a loud yell. "Ow, ow, don't! You're hurting me." "Well, there you are," said the men. "You're not dreaming. Now, where's our kangaroo? He's escaped from our travelling circus." Meddle stared at the man with his mouth wide open in surprise and horror. "Do you mean to say that was a real live kangaroo I saw?" he said at last. "I didn't dream him. Good gracious, I hit him. He might have eaten me up." The men laughed. "He wouldn't have done that," they said, "but you were mighty brave to hit him. He's very strong and can be quite fierce. Look, here he comes over the hedge." Sure enough, there was the kangaroo leaping high over the hedge. He jumped to the men and put his big arms round the one who was his keeper. There he is. See, he's jumping over the hedge. Can you see that? And see that man in the top hat down the bottom there? That's his keeper, and he likes him. And see old Meddle's scared to bits, so he's hugging that other man. It's a very big hedge for that kangaroo to jump over, isn't it? Yes. Okay. Sure enough, there was the kangaroo leaping high over the hedge. He jumped to the man and put his arms around the one who was his keeper. "Shake hands with this gentleman," the keeper said to the kangaroo. But Meddle wasn't going to have any more to do with kangaroos at all. He fled through the hedge again and tore home as fast as he could. But you should have heard him boasting the next day. "I was walking along making up a poem," he told his friends, and this was the poem. "The wind was soft and warm. The sky was very blue. The birds were singing sweet. Is that a kangaroo? But why did you put a kangaroo suddenly into your poem?" asked his friends. "Because there was one, an escaped one," said Meddle. "Ah, you should have seen me. I went up to him. I ordered him to come with me, and when he wouldn't, I fought him. Slap! Bang! I hit him hard, and when his keepers came, I handed over the kangaroo to them at once. I shouldn't be surprised if they asked me to join their circus." But Meddle didn't tell anyone at all that he had thought the kangaroo was a dream. Now, wasn't he funny?